team that knows them well. They played twice this season. The second one doesn't really count to me because it was the Giants JV squad. They deliberately rested guys week 18 in advance of the wild card win, and it was a smart move. But Charean, let's do the same thing. The Eagles will win this game against their arch rivals from up the road in New York / New Jersey if they what?
I think if Jalen Hurts plays like we've seen him play this year, and I don't think we saw that in week 18, he's got to be able to use his legs, and we didn't see some of that. Maybe the shoulder was still bothering him, but he's fully healthy now, Mike. And this is a team that needs to get back to playing like they did with Jalen Hurts when they were so good, when they only lost one game in that stretch. And we haven't seen that really since week 15 when he got hurt against the Bears. Maybe even before that. Maybe it was week 14, that first game against the Giants when they won 48-22, when they really looked like themselves, when we were talking about the Eagles as the best team in football. It's been a long time, I think, since we've said that. But to see Jalen Hurts, I think, play like he played earlier in the season when he was an MVP candidate, they get that. They're, again, the favorites in the NFC.
I think the Eagles win. And obviously there's many ingredients that go into it. We're overly simplifying it. But one of the things they need to do is properly respect Daniel Jones and Isaiah Hodgins. One of the things that I believe Sims and I were talking about in the Picks podcast, Hodgins is kind of in that mode where opposing defenses, out of a matter of pride / arrogance, just assume this guy can't keep doing it. We're not going to double team Isaiah Hodgins. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not Tyreek Hill. He's not Jerry Rice. He's yet to prove himself. Well, he's proving himself 1 week at a time, and if you don't take him seriously, he's going to prove himself against you. And then Daniel Jones, I saw a quote from Patrick Peterson, the Vikings cornerback. Well, he came out and played like Mike Vick. We didn't expect that. Well, maybe you should have expected it because the guy's been around for a while, hiding in plain sight, showing his running ability. Back at the scene of the spot where he tripped over the 5-yard line, the guy can run, the guy can pass. You have to take them seriously. You have to plan for them as if you're planning for Steve Young in his prime, because he will do this to you repeatedly. He had 17 carries last week. Peter said he'll definitely have more than 4 because that's what he had against the Vikings on Christmas Eve. Yeah, he had 4 times 4 plus 1. That's how many times Daniel Jones ran the ball. You've got to take him seriously. You can't look down your nose at the opponent. We know that happens in the NFL. We know there is an amount of institutional arrogance. Oh, it's just Daniel Jones. Oh, it's just Isaiah Hodgins. They better take these guys seriously, or they will match them point for point, drive for drive, and put a ton of pressure on the Eagles' offense to match. And we saw that the Vikings ultimately couldn't do it because Dexter Lawrence was a one-man wrecking crew. So take the Giants' offense seriously. Not just Saquon Barkley, but everyone else, Charean.
Yeah, and they're going to have to worry about Daniel Jones running too, Mike. I mean, that's a serious concern with him when you're a defense. The Eagles get after the quarterback. They're really good at sacking the quarterback, led the NFL with 70 sacks this season. They do that really well. But with Daniel Jones, I mean, you better be careful getting to him and letting him step up and take off, because he can do it, and he can run a long way, as we know, and he did it all year long. So he's, to me, is probably the key for the Giants, Mike. If he can play like we saw him play, I thought Dak Prescott was really good. I thought Daniel Jones was the best player we saw in any postseason game last week. He just, again, kind of like Trevor Lawrence, I was saying, he's taken that next step, and to me, the Giants have an interesting, it's not really a dilemma because a dilemma, both are bad, but an interesting problem to have, and a fun problem, frankly, to figure out if he's their guy or not. And I think they're figuring out he's the guy. He can get this done. They can win with Daniel Jones, Mike, and he's shown that all year long, and I thought he really showed it last week.
He's their guy, and he's making more and more money every week, and they're going to happily give it to him. And I think he falls into that category of guy. We set a narrative on a player early in his career, and we get lazy, and I include myself in that. Some of the times that I criticize the media, I don't include myself. I do include myself in this one. We just want to be able to say, okay, we know who this guy is. Let's move on to somebody else. Or somebody else, we have to figure out who they are. We know who he is. We're not going to worry about him. We're not going to revisit that. We already have come to a conclusion as to who and what he is. Well, he has become him, as they now like to say. He's getting better and better all the time. And for some folks, you're not going to take him seriously until his fingerprints are on a Lombardi trophy, and then it's like, Daniel Jones. Well, the Eagles had better be looking at Daniel Jones differently than everyone has, because if you didn't notice it already, you should have seen it last week against the Vikings. All right, so the Giants will win this game if they what, Charean?
If they figure out how to win in Philly, Mike. It's been a long time. Week 8 of 2013 was the last time the Giants won in Philly. They just can't seem to win there for whatever reason. The last time they won there, Tom Coughlin and Chip Kelly were the head coaches. Eli Manning and Michael Vick were the quarterbacks. So it's just been a really long time since they've figured out the Eagles on the road. So we'll see if they can do it this week. But it's a tough place to play. As we all know, it's going to be a really tough place for them to play this year. They've already lost to the Eagles twice. As you said, that Week 18 game doesn't really matter because they did play their JV in that game. But Week 14, they got spanked pretty good, 48-22. So they've got to figure out the Philly matrix, as it were, how to win on the road in Philly.
I think they'll win if they can make Jalen Hurts one-dimensional. What makes him so great is he runs and passes well. He keeps you on your heels. When you think he's going to throw it, he runs it. When you think he's going to run it, he throws it. He can do both effectively. Dexter Lawrence, I think, a key to that. And Jason Kelce, a key. That's a guy that Jalen Hurts mentioned. Kelce decided to come back for another year. They're going to need Kelce plus help. I wouldn't dare try to neutralize Dexter Lawrence with only one guy. I don't care who it is. Dexter Lawrence was incredible. When you watch some of the clips of what he did and how he was busting through the Vikings line, it's like they weren't even there. So if the Giants can find a way to take away the run threat from Jalen Hurts, that makes it a lot easier to win. Take away the pass threat, just disrupt him enough. It reminds me a lot about what happened in Minnesota. You know the Vikings are going to score in the 20s. You've just got to break serve. It's like tennis. You're a big tennis player, Charean. You just got to break serve once or twice. And we saw the Giants break serve at the very end of the game. That's the key. That Giants defense doesn't have to dominate. It just needs to supplement an offense that is going to do well enough on its own. It really is amazing how we've seen these Giants, both the Giants and the Jaguars, just mature and get better throughout the course of the season. And that's one of the things that I always say in September. What we see in the first couple of weeks doesn't matter because teams will get worse and teams will get better. Very few stay exactly where they are the first few weeks. And to their credit, the Giants have gotten a lot better. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.